colleague who used to work in a school as a teacher's aide. One day, she was called into the principal's office. As horrifying as that was, even more horrifying was the reason exactly why. She was told that the classroom she was working at, that the teacher was actually a sex offender, and they were going to remove him, and she needed to take over the class while the other teacher's assistant, who was still back in the room, was unaware of what was totally going on. So she had to gather herself together, go back into the classroom, and be ready for the removal of the teacher and be ready to take over the class. She was horrified.
So is not hiring a sex offender worth $2? What about $5? Is it worth $10?
It's not always about the money, but it plays a small role in background investigations. More importantly is the knowledge about what and why. Let's dig into some specific information. Did you know in New York State there are 3 levels of sex offender? Did you know only 2 of those levels are available online to search? Those levels are level 2 and level 3 sex offender.
Did you know level 1 offenders are not available online? Why would that be? Because level 1 offenders are generally nonviolent and the least likely to reoffend. They are basically being protected to a certain degree from being harassed and crimes committed against them. However, that's no reason not to search for them when you're looking to hire an employee or a volunteer.
And did you know that there are specific processes you need to go through in order to get that level 1 offender information? Most of us are familiar with the National Sex Offender Registry searches. It sounds fancy and thorough, but it's not all-encompassing and it's not updated in real time. So if your background investigation only does a National Sex Offender Registry search, which many do, then there are gaps in your screening. So Michelle, that's why we generally do a state-specific sex offender search, right?
Right, Rachel. So state-specific sex offender searches are the best way to fill those gaps you're talking about. With state-specific, we mean like specifically going to the state resource for the sex offender data. Like in New York State, it's the Division of Criminal Justice Services. But Massachusetts and other states also have different levels of sex offender in different ways to get to the different levels of information. So you have to search each of those states separately, depending upon where the person's lived, by each name that the person's used in that state in order to get all levels of sex offender. And you have to make sure you're going to the right source to get all levels. Like we said, online in New York, you're not going to get all levels that are available to you.
Oh, and each state has different rules for searching too. So unless you're extremely experienced in how all states work, you could be missing vital information there as well. But did you know that with commercial investigations, you don't have to worry about any of that, which is great news. We have an awesome staff of investigators that take care of everything for you.